Radio. It's just after 10 o'clock on a beautiful Wednesday here in Galveston County, and I have a guest that is zooming in. We're going to be learning about an event that's taking place. It's next week. It's on a Thursday, and you'll be able to stream this live on pay-per-view, gtvplus.live. Go and put the code in MIMS, MIMS, and you can support our guy here that's zooming in. Hey, how you doing?
Doing wonderful. Blessed.
Yeah, so where are you at right now? How are things going?
I'm in Dallas right now. I know the last time we spoke, I was in Houston. Now I'm living in Dallas, and everything's been going. It's a little adjustment, but everything's going great since I've been here.
Yeah, what took you over there?
My job and training, I kind of needed a change of scenery. I've been in Houston for so long, and I just kind of needed to find a new space, something fresh. Now that I'm what they call a grown adult. I had to kind of spread my wings around. And my job allowed me to be out here as well. So,
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what you've been up to, and then I want to know about what's going on next week.
oh, what I've been up to, I've been trying to reconstruct an entire new team because my whole team has been in Houston. So that's the worst part about moving and finding your own space is that sometimes you gotta you gotta get rid of what you like. Um, and what's going on next week? Next week, I am gonna be 2-0. I know that for sure. I'm predicting a first round knockout for sure. I think it's I think it's good luck and also bad luck to speak on your opponent in that way. But I'm really confident in my new team that they've got me really ready, really ready.
Yeah, so you'll be fighting in Dallas as well, and I believe that is for Dumont Promotions. Uh,
Yes.
and I guess you're 1-0, but you fought before. What do you know
Yeah.
about the promotion? Are you excited to be able to fight for them?
Actually, I'm really excited to fight for them. The GTV, they really hit the ground running. They were looking for somebody to take on for their next 5 fights, and they're wanting to build a fighter up from the ground up, and really surround their brand around one fighter, and then obviously branch out to other fighters. But they're wanting to start with someone from basically the bottom, so to speak. And I'm kind of taking that mantle. This is my first fight with this promotion company and this pay-per-view company at the same time, and I'm super excited. I'm just super excited. What I know about them so far is that they're bringing Earl Spence is going to be at this fight, as well as Roy Jones Jr. He's going to be a guest commentator for this fight as well, and that is really huge. That man is my favorite boxer like of all time.
Does that add any pressure?
No pressure. I think it alleviates pressure really because I've been training at the Montoya Boxing Gym. A lot of good fighters have come out of that gym, Earl Spence included, and they've really gotten me ready. I feel like the first fight I didn't really get to showcase what I was made of because I was a little excited. I was really excited. The lights wasn't too much. I think I need brighter lights this time. I think I need a bigger stage this time. I'm ready for more that they throw at me this time.
And that first fight, that last fight was for El Tigre Promotions, and kind of walk us through how that fight went. Was there anything that was a surprise to you?
Um, yeah, he was even though he was short, he was stocky and he was built like Mike Tyson. It was weird, and he came in at 130 flat, 130 flat. And I came in a little heavier. They allowed me to fight. Obviously, I had to pay that little fine, but they allowed me to fight at 138.1. I was really surprised that that they allowed me to do that. This fight, I'm hitting weight 135. I'm already looking good in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way that fight went, he three knockdowns in the first round, four knockdowns total in the whole fight. Went went the distance. He definitely went the distance. Um, I should have finished him in the first round like I had the opportunity to, and I didn't. I didn't. But I won't make that mistake again.
Was that just because you were saving for the later rounds, or what was your thought process?
I think it was because I was more concerned about um being being too aggressive and um I think that was the more or less the problem. We have to move a little.
Oh yeah, no worries. So if you're just now joining us, talking to Devon Mims, he's going to be fighting Thursday, February 17th. You can watch that live. It's going to be taking place in downtown Dallas, or if you're not in the Dallas area, you can stream that live on pay-per-view, gtvplus.live, and the code is MIMS. If you do that, you'll be supporting Devon. You know, what does that look like? What does it mean whenever somebody goes and purchases a pay-per-view to watch your fight?
I think it means everything to me. Even if you show up, that means a lot too. But it's a different type of feeling to be on a pay per view. I think a lot of fighters, whether it's MMA, boxing, or wrestling, or just being a being an athlete in general, a pro athlete, you always want to be televised. Like I think everyone wants to be truly televised, to be seen by hundreds, if not thousands, of people. And so I think it means the world. I think everyone who's watching this, who watched my first fight, who follows me, who follows other people who don't follow me, I honestly think you should just get the pay-per-view. It's going to be a beautiful show.
I believe it's $10, and
Yeah.
yeah, so that's $10. Get it.
$10 isn't a lot of money. I know that we all kind of we're in a pandemic and a little, but $10 is a blessing. I think you should go ahead and pay that $10 and watch this fight. It's gonna be an amazing fight. Besides me, you have some other great headliners in this fight. Some people from the first fight that I was in for LT Promotions in Galveston, and they put on a really good show, a really beautiful show. So this is gonna be twice as good, if not 10 times better. And I'm gonna be in the show, so obviously it's gonna be like a 10 times better.
That's awesome. So, like, I guess the business side of boxing, have things been going smooth for you as well outside of training?
Business side, trying to find more more sponsors that I can get into. I have this one sponsor called Shape Dallas. This sponsor, they use EMS technology, and they've been helping me with my workouts. It's a electro suit that amplifies your workout 10 to 20 fold. It turns 5 pound weights into almost 50 pounds. It takes a 10-20 minute workout and makes it feel like you've worked hours. It's draining, but also productive for the body. And I've been using them for, you can't do it more than two times a week because you're too sore to do anything else. But I do it twice a week. I've been doing it twice a week for about 3 months now. And they were my first sponsor, but I think I was using them, I think 2 months before they end up starting to sponsor me, and it's really beneficial.
What's the name
Really.
of that company, and how, like, do they have a website, or how can I find out more? That's pretty cool.
The company is called Shape Dallas. You can find them here in Frisco, and you can also find them opening up a new facility in Houston and in Austin. You can find them on Instagram at Shape Dallas, or you can go to their website at shapedallas.com.
That's awesome. It's really cool, because we have technology, and I look at like Snapchat filters and all those things, and it's like, this is what we're using our technology for. And then you see something like this where it takes the time that you put into something and it amplifies it and makes, that's all we have, really. It is our time, right? And
Yeah.
that's a really cool use of tech.
It drains you really. I went and did my first workout with them, and I was tapped out for a good 2 days. You can feel it in all parts of your body. It's great.
Yeah, going into that, I guess if somebody wants to go try that, do you have any recommendations, like, hey, kind of ease into it, or you'll see the next day?
Um, I honestly think that everyone has their own pain level, and everyone has their own acceptance of what they feel is a good workout. But I think you should ease into it. I think you should go into it with an open mind. Don't You can read reviews, but I like to go into situations with like an open mind of not knowing much, so my expectations are low, so I can grab as much as I can from it. Um, but it does exceed your expectations. Just know that it's a little uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
at first because it's new. Everything that's new, it's more or less I'm going to be uncomfortable, but you quickly adjust. during the first session, you quickly adjust. And there are different types of settings and different groups, muscle groups that you're able to work out. You can work out your upper body, you can work out lower body, cardio. You can isolate it. It isolates muscle groups as you progress within your workout so that you're grabbing the best gains in the shortest time, but you're also implementing things that you don't implement with being in the gym because it's attacking certain muscle groups and amplifying them as you progress, so to speak. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Okay, you mentioned for that last fight, you came in a little bit heavier. What changes have you made in nutrition or workouts, or what's been different to keep you better on track?
Um, I've had my girl stop cooking for me. She's Brazilian, so yeah, she likes to cook like a lot.
Yeah.
And then I stopped going to my mom's, and I stopped well because I moved out here to Dallas, obviously, and I stopped just going around to places that I know I love their food, and that's family, and more or less. So, um, but diet changes was more of I've always been consistent with my fruits and my greens, um, but water intake. I was heavy because of water intake. I drink so much water, it's ridiculous. So much water, it's ridiculous. So those are some of the things that I changed. Also, rest is something that can really affect how you weigh in. And I'm really good with getting up early in the morning, but also sometimes I'm going to bed a little late, so my body's not getting the ample amount of rest that it needs to recover. So I was a little heavy then, but I'm good now for sure. I'm good.
Yeah. Awesome. So what is like the rest of this week till the fight week, next week, what is that going to look like for you?
Um, Light works. I got some light sparring. Something beautiful just happened in the gym. One of my sparring partners that I just got recently, I'm sparring with him Thursday. He's one of Javante Davis's sparring partners. So that's going to be fun in its own way. So some light sparring is going to be implemented, as well as lots and lots and lots of training in the sauna. Lots of it. Yeah, right now I'm at 141. Got to lose those next 6 pounds, and I didn't want to lose them too fast.
Yeah.
We walk around 130, 135 for longer than a few days. So those last 6 pounds are just going to be training in a sauna.
What does the rehydration process look like for you?
Rehydration process, and hopefully this company is listening, but the rehydration process that I like to use is I'll take a normal bottle of water, and there are these IV hydration packets that you pour into your water, and it basically turns 1 bottle of water into 3 bottles of water. My understanding of it is ground level, but I used it in my last fight, like after my weigh-ins, drink 2 bottles of water with the hydration packets in them, which technically is like 6 bottles of water, had me ready, had me rehydrated beyond anything. So
cool. Are you somebody who eventually like, hey, I want to understand the science or the process behind this, or just give this to me if it's gonna work, I'll do it?
No, I think a little bit of both, but I really want to understand the science so that whenever I'm explaining to someone in this, especially like in this setting, that I'm able to do it in an ample way where people can understand it. All types can understand it.
Yeah, see, I'm more the kind of person who's just like, hey, tell me to eat this and it's going to work. If it works, it works. Give me that. But sometimes it's good to understand things,
Yeah.
but just like, hey, is it going to work? And then I'll do it.
Some things are worth that though, you
Yeah.
just have to it's like, oh, it worked for you. Okay, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I'll try it. But if someone told me, hey, this little packet of powder is going to turn this bottle into 3 bottles, no. How is it going to do that? The water content is still the same. Don't lie to me.
Yeah. Okay, so after you fight next Thursday, how soon are you looking to fight again, and how many more times this year?
Oh wow. So this is a big announcement that I got. So the pay-per-view company has 5 more fights, and they picked me up for all 5. So all 5 fights. Next fight is going to be in April, and my last fight of this year is going to be with Mayweather Promotions in I think that's going to be in November, but it's going to be in what is that? Nevada, Las Vegas. So that's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm
That's
excited
awesome.
for that.
That's a pretty big deal, isn't it?
I'm B side for that fight. They think that they're going to be paying for a win, but you're not just making my life better. I honestly believe you're making my life better by putting me in the on a platform such as that. My team has been pretty excited for it. It was gonna be this fight that I'm fighting now. This would be on the 17th of February, and I'd have been fighting in Las Vegas now, but we wanted it to we wanted to get some more experience under my belt, as well as grab um, a bigger fan base if I'm going to be doing things like that outside of the state. So I needed a bigger fan base.
I know you've traveled a lot for other things before, but I'm not sure if it's necessarily been for boxing or for fighting. Do you think that's going to switch up things a little bit, or it'll take a little bit getting used to?
Um, Something that I've never said publicly is that I'm an East Coast kid. As you can see, I've never been on the West Coast except where is that? I've been to Phoenix, Arizona. I don't. That's as far as west I've ever
I
been.
think it counts. Yeah, it counts.
It counts.
I think it counts. I don't know. It's farther west than here. That counts.
That's as far as west I've ever been. So I've never been. I've never been to California. I've never been on that side. And I think that it's not gonna change anything. I think it's more or less gonna make me more excited. I love pressure. I've always loved pressure.
Is there
Yeah.
anything else outside of fighting? You get out there to Nevada or to the West Coast, after the fight,
Mhm.
that you're excited to explore or get into?
Definitely. I like climbing mountains. I love swimming. I'm not the best swimmer. Like I've never been taught how to swim. Um, I just I just kind of do it,
Yeah.
but I can't do it that long. So I'm really interested to go to some of their canyons, and as well as take that drive to California and dip my toe in some actual West Coast water, um, so to speak. I know that they got some really good food, and I'm not the gambling type, but I'm good at math. So someone said that that works really well in a casino sometimes, but I don't know. I guess I'll give it my try.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of gambling either,
Yeah,
but but you being a fighter, I mean, you step into the ring in a sorts, that's a way of, is it a gamble to you, or you take, you're going in there, you're confident, or
both. Boxing or MMA, anything can happen. Anything can happen. You can have the odds stacked up against you, and you can still win, or you can be stacking the odds and still lose. So I think you have to have a little bit of both of confidence, and you have to also have an open mind that anything can happen. He can catch me one overhand right, just a wild hit.
yeah. Did
Mm.
you have a chance to watch that the last Paul brother fight, and what did you think about that?
Um, I love Tyron Woodley, in the sense that I've seen him fight in the UFC, and I've seen him do some really beautiful finishes in his career. And to watch him hit him through those ropes and then have him still standing after stumbling was a little alarming to me. I'm not going to take anything from Jake Paul. Like, I mean, you're making your money, you're making a lot of it. You're changing the sport of boxing, promoting yourself, and that's something that I'm doing now. I'm not signed to anybody. It's just me. So to that, kudos. But to think that you knocked out Tyron Woodley twice, well, beat him twice, I don't know about that one. No. I'm a
Yeah.
little on the fence.
Yeah. What do you think about all of the I guess the Paul brothers are bringing that to side, like fighter pay, and they're
Yeah.
saying like, hey, the UFC heavyweight champion, Francis Ngannou, the heavyweight champion here is making $30 million, and then these other guys are making 10,000 at the bottom. What do you think about all of that situation?
Um, Obviously, I think that they're doing good things for boxing in the sense of having us being paid more for our work, but also these boxers have to understand that these Paul brothers aren't just making money by fighting people. They're making money off the promotion themselves. Let's take this pay-per-view for an example. Let's say that I got a percentage of the pay-per-view fights and I had 7 million people tune in and I got 3% of 7 million. Obviously, I'm leaving with a pretty nice check in my pocket, and that's not even what I got for fighting. That's just promotions. Now just imagine if I had that plus some some sponsorships on the side. So it's really about how you sell yourself. And a lot of boxers, unlike, and not just tooting my own horn, but unlike me, they're not able to sell themselves. Yeah, they can talk mess. Yeah, they can back it up in the ring, but they can't hold the conversation. They can't talk about a product like, it's the best thing that's ever happened. And they're not willing to have those hard conversations with companies to, shoot out their name. They want people to talk for them instead of talking for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the discrepancy between making money and having money like being made for you.
Yes. I saw it was a meme or something that was on my Instagram Explore feed, but it was and I didn't like fact check, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was talking about Shaquille O'Neal making like $292 million in his career, and from endorsements during his career, it was like 400. And then, he took all of that money and invested it, and now he has, even more, but the majority of his money was from endorsements.
I mean, same thing for Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was in a part of a basketball era when they weren't even making millions. When they were making millions, it was more like, oh, a max contract was $4 or $5 million, $10 million, and that's like a basic veterans contract now.
Yeah.
So, but you also have to see he owns the Dodgers, and he has all these other ventures, and he's well within his means of calling himself a billionaire and/or one of the highest paid millionaires like on the planet. So.
Yeah. And is that why it's important to you to build that fan base, like you mentioned earlier? So, those people are tuning in, pay-per-view sales and all that stuff. That's all a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot by trying to be bigger than what I am. And I definitely don't want to be that person who says, well, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Although my skills may be ready, or I may think that they're ready, my trainer may not think that they're ready. But I know what's not ready. My fan base is not ready. If I go out there, the fight I'm gonna fight, he's gonna have all these people who know him, and no one's gonna be like, who's this guy? It's not gonna be anything, and I need something. So
Yeah.
we're not about to shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah. As far as the guy that you're fighting on Thursday, next Thursday, is he a Texas guy? What all do you know about him?
Okay, I know a few things about him. I'm not supposed to know anything about it, and you're not hearing me tell you this, but
Okay. Okay.
it's not like I had the FBI tell me about this guy.
It's just us, just me and you here.
Just me and you. He's from Kentucky. Um, I know that he's a pretty reputable MMA fighter, and this is kind of like a Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley like reverse. Like it's you have a boxer fighting an MMA fighter. He's pretty reputable in the MMA world. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's moved over to boxing really recently. Last year, I do believe in October. He has about 2 fights since October. I know he has, I think, 12 fights in MMA. Pretty solid record. I think he's like 6-4, or 8-4, I do believe.
I'm trying to piece it together, see if it's someone I know. It's like, are you fighting Anderson Silva?
That would be crazy. I wouldn't want to though. I mean, I would like to, but I don't think I wouldn't want to.
I understand. Yeah.
I mean, Anderson Silva is amazing, but I'd have all the Brazilians on South America just rooting against me.
Yeah.
But as long as they tuned into the pay-per-view, I didn't care. I don't care.
Just watch.
Yeah, definitely. I know that he's orthodox, but he loves to switch. He throws some great hooks. I mean, all MMA fighters, they throw great hooks. But I already know how I'm gonna take him down. It's gonna be a jab to the head, and it's gonna be a body shot. It's gonna be just like that. Mark my words: a jab to the head and a body shot.
And you're calling the first round, right? That's the goal. That's the plan.
I'm calling first round. I'm calling first round, only because the way that I've trained for my first fight compared to this fight, completely different. I really got my limits exposed. I really had my pride damaged. I used to think that I was really good, but it was shown that someone's always better, and I've gotten my butt kicked a lot this off season during this training camp. So I'm more or less prepared for anything, but I'm expecting everything.
I mean, that's pretty humbling, right? But I guess if it's going to be anywhere, you want it to be during training and with your partners, right?
Yeah, definitely. Even if I lost in the ring, I'm not speaking that to myself. But even if I lost in the ring, it's it's much more of a teaching moment than anything. I think that fighters don't know who they are until they get hit in the mouth. So like if I ever got knocked down, if I was ever beaten, how I come back is like what people are gonna remember. They're not gonna remember like, oh, he won 15 times. They're gonna remember that one loss. So we
You know,
try to win as much as we can.
what was the biggest difference, I guess, from your pro debut and all of the training sessions? What would you say is the major difference, whether that's lights or the crowd or just not having seen that person before?
Uh, Honestly, when the crowd, when I saw the crowd, the first person I was looking for is my dad. And I when I found my dad, I my like heart was like huge. And then I saw this kid. The kid was like, because I was the first fight of the night, and this kid was like, he was screaming. He was like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "Yeah!" It was really pumping me up. And that same kid after the fight stopped me and asked for an autograph. It was my first ever autograph that I've ever done. This little kid, and did an autograph for him, and that really sold it for me. That sold it for me. Sold boxing for me. Sold crowds. Sold the lights. I'm in love with it now. I mean, I always loved it, but I'm in love now. I have to have that feeling again. It's like better than any drug, like anything that I've ever experienced.
Are do you feel like you're a good role model for kids like that?
Um, I guess that's not a question I can answer. I think that's a question that like um my demeanor has to answer itself, or like my actions. I think it'd be pretty vain if I said I am. I try to be. I try to do what I can, and I try to let my flaws shine. So I try to let people see the flaws that I have. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. So I think that can make a good role model in certain aspects. But I just don't really know how to answer that question.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, one thing you did say is you saw your dad, out in the crowd. I guess after the fight, what are like? Did you go and find them or your family? And I guess what was that like?
It was so crazy. My dad was like, "You had my blood pressure running." I was like, I kind of apologized, and he was like, "Yo," I watched the video after he was taking a video. The whole time, he's just like, if you ever watch an older person watch a fight on their phone, they're just like, "Ooh, ooh, 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 hit him,"
Yeah.
and that's what you can hear in the background. It's some of the best commentation I've ever heard. Like it's just from my dad, just referring to me. And my mom's like, "My sweet boy, you're a," I was like, "You've always been a pacifist. Like, why are we even here?" It's like, but I immediately knew where they were. Um, I stayed for the rest of the fight. We stayed for the rest of the fights, and it was a beautiful night. Like, oh my god, it was like knockouts, knockdowns. People were being cut, and it's crazy.
Yeah. Was there ever a point in that night? And I've heard people at the highest level say this, and then some people say no, that's not the case. But was there ever a point where you kind of question, "Am I doing this, or why am I doing this again?" And then it clicks, and then you go and do what you got to do.
um, I think right before like the walkout, it was like that like heavy in the chest. I'm not really knowing the word to put, but I was real heavy in the real heavy in the chest and then light in the stomach. So it was like my internals were having like a battle. And when they opened like the curtain for me to walk out, that was when I was like, yeah, that's why I'm doing that. And then when I heard the kid, I was like, yeah, that this is why I'm here. This is solidified. This is my place.
So you mentioned I think you're going to fight, multiple times this year.
Yeah.
What's the goal, going forward for you?
When a goal for me to win is and to get better, not to get comfortable. Definitely not to get comfortable. Um, or complacent. If I do get comfortable, I want to get comfortable with winning, um, and continue to be surrounded by the people that I've been trying to surround myself by, which is those who expose my weaknesses in the ring, and then also uplift me with their words and keep me grounded, not letting me get too big headed, and even though I'm in the early stages of this journey, staying consistent with the people that I'm surrounded by. So it's something I want to continue going forward.
You talk about people exposing weaknesses in the ring. What are some things that you're working on in your game to improve, even if they're already there? You just want to take it up the next level.
Yeah, definitely. I want to over attacking really. Um, when I smell blood, it's that that dog. I want to be able to use it, but also bring it back in order to use my IQ, and that's one of my worst flaws. I want to call them is I put someone in a corner and I'll go body to head, body to head, body to head, and exhaust the tank to get the knockout, to get the knockdown, to get the point, and scoring the point and then backing out and coming up with a better plan is something that we were working on. Using more of our head in those high adrenaline moments, and that's something that I've been working on. Something I'm going to continuously work on.
Is there people that are in your life or growing up that they're surprised that you're doing this? You mentioned that your mom said you're a pacifist. What's going on or whatever.
Yeah. Growing up, my dad was military, so I moved around a lot. So I don't really have sandbox friends. Like I grew up from like the sandbox, that I still know today, that level. So some of the people I went to high school with, they're all like, "Wow, that's crazy! Like you're a boxer." And then like people that who've seen me like on podcasts such as this one, or by the way, the last podcast we were on, I've gotten so many like people hit my phone. It's like, man, I saw you on this podcast. It was crazy. That was wild. You're a boxer now. That's insane. So a lot of people have come and shared their concerns, but also some of my people in the military. They're super excited because they're like, man, I was there from the beginning, and now you're a pro. That's crazy.
Yeah, I bet you've inspired people too. It's like, well, wow. He actually he's following through with this dream. He wanted to do it. He's a professional boxer, undefeated, and he's fighting again. I mean, has that been the case hearing people?
Yeah. I've had a couple people say, hey, I'm trying to get into boxing. Like, what do I gotta do? What I gotta be? Like, and it's like, well, you need to put in some years, and you definitely put ego aside. You gotta be willing to get your butt beat a couple times. And then, I have had some hard conversations with some people that said that, they're in jobs that they hate, and they're doing things that they feel like is a waste of their time. And I just told them that if you want things to change, you got to change your head first. You have to show some consistency, and you have to show some strength.
Yeah. Has there been people that, they see the numbers that boxers are making in pro boxers, and they're like, Devon, hey, let me get some money making $30 million on this next fight?
The day that I make 30 million on a fight, ooh, that's going to be the day.
Yeah.
My grandma's going to come out of nowhere. She's going to say this, and I'm already knowing because I do it to this day. 30% goes to the church. 30% goes to the church. And that 30% is going to be broken up into different organizations, different churches, such as Clear Life. So, those are like some of the things that are going to happen is, taking care of my family isn't going to be a chore because it's my family, but I haven't had anybody. Wait, hold on. I think I have. Someone asked me, was I making like really good money? And I was like, I had one pro fight, man. Like,
it's getting there. I'm working on it, right? Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I've only had the one, man. And I have no sponsors right now. So like let's hold off on it.
Yeah.
But I've had a few people tell me that they can honestly see me going all the way. And I appreciate those blessings.
So you would say, I guess, giving back to the community or to the church and taking care of your family, that's a big priority for you?
Definitely. Me personally, I feel like I got everything that I need. I don't have everything I want, and I don't think that I ever will have everything that I want. Even if I have all the money in the world, I don't think I'll ever have everything I want. But so far, I got everything I need. I got people who love me, and I got stable income ish. So it's I don't think anything's stable these days, but it's something more of a helping other people. Like even today, even now, like I'm part of a nonprofit organization where we go around to like junkyards and car auctions. And we try to purchase some of the vehicles that need a little to no work, $1,000 to $2,000 to $3,000 in vehicles. We fix them up. I love cars, by the way. So we fix them up, and then we give them to families that don't have them, or organizations that need vehicles to pick up kids and transport them to and from school. So I've been doing that for about 8 months now, and that's something that I'm going to continuously do as I progress in my boxing career and I have more to put into the organization.
That's awesome. I love that.
Mm.
In hearing things like that, or even just like being involved with an organization, it opens up. I mean, because like you'll hear about that, or like, oh yeah, I don't have a vehicle, but then you actually see it and the work, and then the appreciation that a family or an organization has, so they can do something good, like pick up kids and take them to events and just help. It just makes you that more appreciative of everything that we have as blessed. It's a blessed thing.
Yeah, I used to be one of those kids. So for me, it's not more of like oh, I'm trying to like give back to a place I used to be. It's you see a kid that has to walk home in the rain, and um it's kind of tragic because his mother's like working two jobs, or she's like her car's not working, and or they're both walking in the rain, or you see a mother with her kids underneath like beltway 8, not even coming from school, just on a weekend or something like that. And that's, to me, when I hear the words like, oh, nothing can be done, I don't believe that. And so I try to do as much as I can on my end, and that's why I feel like I do what I do. It's not the entirety for me doing what I do, but I definitely do believe that it's one of the pillars that keeps me going.
That's awesome. And everybody does their part, and that's even if it's a little bit or a lot, or even if you think it's a little bit, it's going to be a lot to someone else. Um, Devon, can you remind everybody how they can either attend your fight next Thursday? When is it? How can they watch it online as well?
Okay, so the fight is here in Dallas, downtown Dallas. You can find the QR code in my Instagram, Devon underscore MD, or you can find it on my Facebook at Devon Mims. There's a QR code, or you can also go to gtv.com and you can watch the pay-per-view. Now, when you buy the pay-per-view, this is the most important part, and I think everybody needs to listen to this part. When you buy the pay-per-view, you have to go to the coupon spot at the bottom before you check out, and you put my last name, MIMS, and then you'll get I think $2 off the pay-per-view, and then that goes to well, I'm splitting the proceeds of my pay-per-view, which is something I forgot to say. It's splitting proceeds of my pay-per-view down the middle. 50% is going to go to me, and the other 50% is going to go to the charitable organizations that I'm a part of, and the nonprofit.
That's awesome. I love it. So yeah, go to gtv.live, gtvplus.live, and then you can put in MIMS, MIMS, and you can view the pay-per-view. That's going to be Thursday, February 17th. It's Dumont Promotions taking place in Dallas, Texas. Devon, is there anything else you'd like to share this morning?
If my opponent is listening, just show up, man.
That's it. I love it.
No, thank you so much. I love Clear Life. You guys are a blessing. I love watching your other interviews with some of the other MMA guys. So I love it. The fact that you guys had me on here today. It's one of my favorite podcasts. So
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is KHE